At a small triangle-shaped park bordered by 7th Avenue, Christopher, and Grove Street, art and radicalism converge in a sculpture that has become a beloved fixture of the landscape.
We're here at the Gay Liberation Monument by George Segal in Christopher Park at Sheridan Square in the heart of the West Village.
It was donated to New York City in June of 1979 to commemorate the Stonewall riots which took place at 52 Christopher Street, which is right behind me.
Riots occurred in 1969, which caused really what is seen as the beginning of the gay pride movement in America. The sculpture was commissioned by a man named Peter Putnam.
It was donated to New York City in June of 1979 by the Mildred Andrews Fund in association with the National Gay Rights Task Force. The city accepted the sculpture, and therein began a very, very long and controversial episode in public art in New York City. It was ultimately and fortunately placed in the ground, but 13 years later. Those against it, for political reasons, said we don't need a very explicit sculpture. Some called this explicit.
There is nothing explicit about these sculptures. I can't believe there was a controversy. That shows you how much the country's changed.
It's a piece visited by thousands of people every year as a pilgrimage site, especially important during Gay Pride Month and Gay Pride Week. The culmination of the Gay Pride Parade is essentially at this location.
A lot of tour groups come here to celebrate and learn about that particular part of history. And I'm a part of a group called the Christopher Park Partnership, and we're a group of neighbors who live around Christopher Park, and we volunteer with Partnerships for Park to plant, and we do general maintenance like cleaning trash and watering the flowers, that kind of stuff, and we have parties. I think people do respect the statues. You know, they pose with them, they dress them up at Halloween. I think it's nice to have art outside. That's a great thing, and I think it's kind of a New York thing, too.
Sculpture is made out of bronze, though it's meant to simulate plaster, made from molds taken from life, from the models themselves.
And what we're doing is, it's almost like a preventative conservation, especially with these sculptures because they have a white coating on them.
The original finish was paint. We are now simulating that finish with a protective lacquer infused with pigments and with an overlayer of wax that essentially recreates his aesthetic intent, but also protects the bronze from the elements and so forth. The restoration work being performed here is under the auspices of the Parks Department's Citywide Monuments Conservation Program. It's a training program in which graduate-level apprentices study with two professional conservators, and each summer the interns and the conservators do intensive conservation, such as this one, in which we protect and preserve our cultural legacy.
So over the last 3 days, we've been stripping them down just to the bronze, and we are reapplying a new type of white coating.
It's called a permalac, and it should be more durable.
Part of the thing that's been really revealing is how much detail went into these. And as we strip back those layers of paint, just how much time he must have spent going over the detail and the markings and getting everything just right. So to be able to work on something by someone that I studied is actually very interesting for me.
It's almost like meeting a celebrity when you're next to the sculptures, so it gives you a little thrill.
My name is Jamila, and I love my park.
Learn more about the park's monument collection on the park's website.